In this session, let's learn about Oracle background processes. A Oracle database instance can have many background processes. Some of them are optional background processes and some of them are required background processes. Whenever an Oracle database instance is started, automatically all the required background processes are started. So the first one which we will be learning about is database writer. A database writer writes the contents of the database buffer cache to the data files. This database writer is responsible to write the dirty buffers and the cold buffers into the data files. A dirty buffer is a buffer which is modified, and a cold buffer is a buffer which has not been used recently. Okay, these two type of buffers, the dirty buffer and the cold buffer, is written from the database buffer cache into the data files. Why does it write both the dirty buffers and the cold buffers into the data files? It writes so that the other user processes can find clean buffers so that they can write the new blocks into the cache, right? Whenever the user starts writing into the database, the buffers gets dirty. As the buffers get dirty, the number of free buffers reduces. So obviously the user process that must read the new blocks from the disk into the cache are not able to find free buffers. So that is why the database writer manages in such a way that the user processes can always find free buffers. Okay? There is a least recently used algorithm which helps this database writer process. This least recently used algorithm identifies which are the blocks which are frequently used and the blocks which are not frequently used. So obviously the database writer writes all the blocks which are not frequently used or not recently used and keeps all the blocks which are frequently used in the database buffer cache. Okay, by doing this, the overall performance of the database is improved. Okay, normally one database writer process is enough, but if your database performs lot of write operations, then obviously you can configure additional process. Okay, you can use the db underscore writer underscore processes parameter to configure more writers. Okay, remember this point. Database writer is used to write dirty buffers and cold buffers from a database buffer cache into the data files. Okay, but when will the database writer write? The database writer will write in two cases. One is whenever a server process cannot find a clean reusable buffer. That is the first one. And the second one is whenever the Oracle database wants to advance a checkpoint. We know a checkpoint is a position in the redo log from which the instance can recover. Okay, normally this log position is determined by the oldest dirty buffer in the buffer cache. Okay, so remember these 2 points. Whenever the server process cannot find a clean reusable buffer and whenever Oracle database wants to advance the checkpoint, the database writer will write the dirty buffer and the cold buffer into the data files. Okay.